Hello, everyone. My name is Aiden Chu, and I am an accounting major. Today, I want to share what I learned in business law this semester. Before this class, I knew business law was important because it is a big part of the CPA exam. But now, I truly understand why it matters so much. As an accountant, you cannot manage a company's books or calculate taxes if you do not understand the legal foundation underneath them. Look at the formula on the slide. If two or more people work together to make money while filing official state paperwork, the law automatically calls them a general partnership. This is a dangerous default. In a general partnership, everyone runs the business, but everyone can also get personally sued if something goes wrong. Your personal bank accounts are not safe. To fix this, you can upgrade to a limited partnership where the general partner takes the blame and the limited partner is just a quiet investor. Or even better, you can form an LLC. An LLC gives you full liability protection to keep your personal assets safe, offers pass-through taxation to avoid double taxes. Moving on to slide 2, here is a visual collage I made to connect real property law with intellectual property rights. I like this project because it applies tough legal theory to real business situations. First, look at the tractor farming a field. This represents a concept called adverse possession. It shows what open and notorious land use looks like when a squatter treats someone else's land as their own. I learned a really cool nuance here. If a landlord sends a letter protesting the squatter, but does not actually kick them off, it can backfire by legally locking in the hostile element the squatter needs to win the land in court. Next, look at the disassembled smartphone. This represents utility passions and the danger of reverse engineering. I studied a famous case called NTP v. BlackBerry and learned how overprotecting a patent can sometimes hurt a company. On the other hand, the image of the steel vault represents trade secrets. Trade secrets do not use public filings. Instead, they rely on absolute internal secrecy to protect company assets forever. Finally, the deeds and leaseholds images show that contracts must be written under the statute of frauds. This project provided proved my growth because it forced me to look past textbook definitions and you see how companies actually protect their physical and invisible assets. On slide 3, I want to highlight a quote from my strongest written analysis this semester. It comes from an assignment where I looked at workplace rules and mandatory arbitration. In 2018, the Supreme Court ruled that mandatory arbitration clauses are legally enforceable even if employees are forced to sign them to get a job. This means if a coworker has a problem, they cannot sue in public court. They have to use a private, secret meeting instead. That might be official law, but it definitely does not mean it is fair. This project really helped me grow as a thinker. I stopped using memorizing definitions and started looking at the bigger picture. I learned that following the letter of the law is not the same as being ethical. Legality is about power, but true fairness requires a moral foundation. As a future accountant, this is a huge lesson. It is not enough for a contract or financial strategy to be technically legal. We also have to think about how our choices affect real people, workplace fairness, and ethics. Slide 4 covers my video reflection about contract law and torts. This topic completely changed my perspective. I used to think law was just basic common sense, but it is actually high technical. For contracts, I learned that a business could face huge financial liabilities without ever signing a piece of paper. A concept called promissory estoppel says that if you make a vague promise to someone and they uproot their life relying on that promise, the law can step in and force you to keep it. I also learned about the mailbox rule, which says a contract becomes legally allowed the exact second an acceptance is mailed out. This taught me that casual business conversations have to be made very carefully. For tort law, my understanding of civil battery was totally rewired. Battery isn't just physical violence. Throwing a glass of water at someone or violating their personal dignity counts as battery because the law protects people from public humiliation. I also study strict product liability. If a company sells a defective product that hurts someone, it does not matter how many safety checks they ran, they are automatically liable. This taught me that customer service and precision communications are a company's best shield against expensive lawsuits. To wrap things up, I want to look back at my entire journey this semester. I started this class thinking business law was just a checklist of rules to pass the CPA exam. Now, I see it as the underlying architect that holds up every single financial statement. My thinking has completely changed. I no longer view law as just rigid text to look up in a book. Instead, I see it as a fluid system used to manage business risks every day. What I am carrying forward into my career is an unified legal and financial mindset. As a future CPA, I know I cannot properly manage a company's books or protect its wealth while understanding its legal framework. This class did not just prepare me for the rules of the CPA exam, it equipped me to protect, build, and guide businesses in an ethical way. Thank you so much for listening.